Roll it.
I don't even know. Episode what?
Seriously. Yeah.
All right,
Edit.
we're back. Real estate
And
in different
cut.
states.
And we're back. Real estate in different states. Episode 2. Danny and Kalen. We're gonna pick up right where we left off. So kind of touch back again how you guys we talked about the snow cone business, the inspection business. So take us back to that timeline to where you were at and how you jumped into the real estate investing part of your business.
So he had his job.
Yes.
I had my W-2 job as well. I quit my job so we could start the snow cone business. And his job has always been, the stability of everything. So from the snow cone stand, we went to Todd's inspection. From Todd's inspection, I started real estate. And then from there, we bought our first commercial property, and then we bought our first flip.
Let me ask,
But the
what
commercial property was for Todd's, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that was kind of like the plan. Like, hey, like eventually we want to move Todd's here, and we want to use a commercial property to,
like,
kind
because
of-
we don't own the property that we're
Yeah.
at, that Todd's is on, we rent. So we're like, hey, eventually we're going to have to get it on our own property.
Yeah. Okay. So how'd that come about? Tell me that.
So there was a piece of property down the road that I had my eye on, and I was like, we should buy it because it was such a cheap price. And I was like, I want it. And he was like totally against it. And so anyways, it ended up selling, and I was like, look what you did.
She was
But
bummed.
you had your real estate license at this point in time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
It was
But-
just a vacant lot, but we knew that road at some
so
point.
he had his
had
reasons
potential.
because it was smaller. It wasn't very functional for what we needed. So I get it. It's just, it happened to be in a good spot, and I was thinking if we could get it, good. But later on, maybe a few months later,
Yeah.
the property that we own now popped up, and it's literally catty cornered. Like if you're standing at Todd's inspection, you can get right across the street. So that popped up, and we're like, okay, like maybe it happened for a reason. This is the property that we're supposed to buy. And then we jumped on it. He was like, you know what? Let's go for it. We're not going to lose another piece of property. And so obviously our end goal, which is what we're working on right now, is to move Todd's over there because the property that we're on right now is just way too massive. And whenever they go to sell it, it's probably going to go like in the millions. And, there's just no way.
Yeah.
So anyways, we just bought a small piece of property across the street so we could eventually move over there.
Okay. Cool.
quick question, if you don't mind. So when you bought Todd's, was the inspector who was working there still the same inspector that y'all had?
You got
Yep.
my mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the OG.
Yeah,
and
Mike.
he's
Yeah.
he's awesome.
Y'all's
was-
homie-
No, what?
y'all's
OG.
homie?
Yeah. I mean, he just, I mean, he's been a great person, because we didn't know anything about the inspection world, right? We're kind of like, hey, we're just going to venture off on this, right? And so he already, knew the ropes. So he kind of just took off and ran with it. And he basically manages the place. We kind of just,
Like people think that he's the owner.
yeah, and
Like,
we kind of, yeah,
Comes to the owner Mike. I'm like, yeah, he's over there.
Yeah. we're like, yeah, he's the owner. It's just-
I don't want to talk to you.
It's not like, oh no, we're the owners. I'm just like, look, yeah, Mike's over there. Like, go to him. I mean, he's been a great help. I mean, I feel like we couldn't have asked for a better person to stick around with us. I mean, he's made this whole process so easy for us.
Perfect.
So-
I was just wondering because Kyle sent me a text, 4 to 6 weeks ago. He's like, dude, I'm going to buy this barbershop. And I was like, what do you know about cutting hair, dude? He's like, no, I'm just going to buy it because people lease the space from you. Can I say this on air?
Oh, dude. Yeah.
When we own a
perfect
shop,
green.
they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you expect?
Well, and most,
I'm still trying to buy that barbershop. Like, I haven't given up on that.
Okay.
No
Well,
response.
typically
It's
you
not
have-
enough.
you don't see like just inspection shops, right? Typically, like you see an inspection shop, like in an oil change place, and they just do inspections. We
Yeah.
literally do inspections only.
Yeah, I think we're the only shop
We are the
in
only
this
shop.
area that only does inspections. So
Yeah.
I think that's why Todd's has been so successful, is because they know once they come, like it's in and out.
And you can come on your lunch break and what have you in and out in 10 minutes, right? So it's like other places, like if they're stuck doing oil changes, like, hey, hang on, give us, 20 minutes, we'll be done, and then we'll get with you.
Like,
And
we
we're
don't
like,
we don't have the prettiest building or the prettiest waiting room or the nicest parking lot, but, at least you're not sitting there waiting for an hour for an inspection.
Well, give a shout out. Give the address. Get some people over there.
Yeah,
1702
shoot.
West Cedar Bayou, Lynchburg.
yep,
By
It's right behind
Depot,
BCW
though.
and Home Depot.
There
Yeah.
you go.
about Home Depot. It's a dual grade building
Pass up Home Depot. It's right there on the
on
right.
the side.
There it
Yep.
is. And it's super cheap, right?
Oh, yeah. Best deal around.
There we go. Hey, and if you mention that you listen to the podcast, you get
There
50%
you
off.
go.
50 cents. 50 cents.
50% off.
Anyways,
Uh,
okay. Well, that's a cool story because seriously, you're like, I'm here, I'm there. I'm just gonna try it out and see if it works. And that's awesome. Seriously, that's awesome. And that kind of reminded me of Kyle sent me a text like, I'm gonna buy a barber shop. I'm like, dude, you're in real estate. What do you know about that? Dude? But it's
well,
just
I know with through what we've done, they're like, oh wait, snow cones, inspections, houses, like how
Dude,
does
I love it, man. I freaking
I
love it.
yeah, I
If
was like,
anybody makes fun of you, just dude, I'm rooting for you guys. I love it. Just call me if you ever feel like somebody's making fun of you because I think it's awesome. You could tell me you're gonna go freaking, I don't know, open a ski resort. I'd be like, yeah, you are. Let's go open it.
it's funny now, like venture off just for a split second, but like we're fixing to buy like our first vending machine, right? And like we're gonna try out the vending machine.
nice.
It's
Yeah,
like,
you are.
like I watch
You-
a bunch of TikToks and vending machines. I'm like, you know what? Like it is what it is. We'll just try it, right?
Try it, dude. Ski resort in Texas, do it. I don't care. They
Dude,
got some in Dubai. In
Wait,
Dubai, they have
where?
ski resorts. Go open one in freaking Austin. Why not?
Yeah, they got Topgolf. Just open up a ski resort, huh? No, you should put the vending machine at your work. Would they let you?
Well, we're actually gonna put it at Todd's.
Oh, are you?
I mean, it's free
now
location.
pods, get an inspection.
That's
And
perfect.
Yeah.
Because whenever I worked for my parents, I'm gonna embarrass myself. I used to have pledge duties. They make me go take their damn cars to the Halls Mark and get their car washed. And there's a vending machine, and I promise you, I sat there and I thought, there's so many people buying these $2 snacks, $3 snacks. I was like, why? Like, you
They're
got
hungry.
Schlotzsky's. You're on Garth Road. Go get you some food. What do you?
Yeah.
But they just want
Convenience.
snacks. They get bored, right? They wait 10 minutes. Like, hey, let me get my hands on something real quick, right? So
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Well,
really
hot
good.
cake or drinks.
Yeah.
Never know.
Oh yeah, put some beers in there, bro. Put some tall boys, some brown bag specials.
You should put,
Yes.
you should put a coffee shop in there.
Hey, that'd be nice.
okay, so whenever we bought that commercial piece of property, we were actually our plans were to move Southern Snow and make a storefront and Todd's inspection. So like kind of make the snow cone stand in the front and Todd's in the back. But we sold Southern Snow in 2020 or 2021.
Beginning of 2020, it was like March.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But they're actually still open. So I
Yes.
do want to
You
shop.
sold it?
Yes, we sold it and they are in.
Where was that in the story? You just skipped that part?
Well, no, about
Sold a business?
Well, remember I was telling you. So once you got started in real estate, like that's like we had to choose. Like, hey, look, we can't do Todd's and we can't do.
Because I
Southern Snow.
But you made it seem like you just quit. You guys sold it.
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah, we
sold.
sold it. Yeah,
That's cool.
as you said, they're still open.
They're still open a quarter.
Yep.
And they're
That's
like,
awesome.
they're a really nice family
Yes.
and they take great care of it. But yeah, they're in Porter, so go check it out.
That's
They
cool.
still have
That's a cool
like
story.
the
I like
old
your part.
logo and everything.
Yep.
So
And that's kind of how we got more heavy. We decided, hey, you know what? We really want to get more heavy into real estate. And we're like, I think we have too many different ventures going on. So we decided if we sell Southern Snow, we can take the proceeds from that and the money that we've had saved up and kind of like get into our first,
All right, let's do it.
that's
First
how.
flip. How'd you flip your first house?
word pop. Well, so he would always come to me about flipping, and I wanted to get into it too because my grandfather is into real estate, and that's how he's that's what he's always done. He does owner financing. He's done rentals. He's built neighborhoods,
Commercial property.
commercial properties, all of it. Right. So,
So I do believe Kalen's grandfather and my grandpa knew each other. I believe
yes,
he said that. Okay.
yeah, he has some stories about your grandfather.
Go Blake, my
Uh,
grandpa.
My grandpa. Go ahead. It's an insight. Sorry.
but so he kind of mentored us a little bit, but it's just very different ways of doing things because times were very different whenever he was getting started into real estate and when we started. So whenever we were looking to flip our first house, so Danny is he's very like, I'm gonna do all of my research. I'm
Yeah.
gonna know everything about it before we do anything. And me, I'm like, I don't know anything, but I'm doing it anyway. I will learn as I go. And so we kind of clashed on that a little bit, but I think eventually, which we kind of met in the middle because obviously we can't get into flipping without knowing anything. So my method wasn't going to work. And, but yet we're never going to know anything, especially whenever we haven't ever done it. So his method wasn't going to work either. So we were just like, look, let's just do it. And we didn't really have anybody.
I think it was just us.
It was
Really.
just us. We didn't have friends doing it. We didn't have really anybody to lean on, which made it even harder. And so at the end of the day, we just talked to a hard money lender. And we had saved up a little bit of money. And we literally had our first flip. We had what, $17,000 in our bank account?
I think it
Like
was
between
15,000.
like savings and everything. And we're like, how do we flip a house with only $15,000 to our name?
I'll say,
Tell me
shout
the
out.
number. Tell me the numbers. Put it all
So
up. I want to know.
he
'Cause
bought
this is awesome. Go ahead.
bought this house, which I don't know why. I had shown him this house over and over and over, and he kept telling me, "Kaylin, there's a reason why people haven't picked it up because it had been on the market over 100 days." And I was like, "I don't care. I want it."
Well, it really did, like all of the terms, like,
Yeah.
ARV and this and that, and
Yeah.
how hard money lending work. I mean, we were just kind of like, literally, we're fresh at all of this, right? And I think one point too is, Jose from work.
Yeah,
And
he
this
had
guy,
that's actually younger than
yeah, he was like 23, and he's like, "Yeah, I've already flipped my third property," and I'm like, "Hold up, what the hell?" So I remember coming home and being like, "Dude, this guy is doing it. Like, you know what? Screw it. Like, let's just do it." Right. And she said, "Okay, finally, like you're on board." Right. So she had been showing me this house that she found in Baytown. And I was like, man, I don't know. There's a reason here I am, the whole scared mentality. Like, and there's a reason why no one else is picking it up. Right. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I'm the opposite 'cause I'm like, "There's a reason why, because it was meant for us." Like,
yeah.
Oh man, that's such a hard
that's
place to
why.
be because it's like this is a flood zone, foundation issues,
Well,
It had major
everything's going through your head. It's like, or it's just
well,
nobody.
I want to throw this out because I felt like, for the longest time, I was so scared to buy, our first flip because I was like, man, like, what if we buy it and we fail? Like, we lose everything, right? And I always had this fear of getting back to that point. I go back to my childhood whenever we had nothing. And I was like, man, I don't want to be there. And like, if I take this risk and I fail, like, I could potentially be back there again, right? But then,
Yeah.
what really, I don't know, this is really what changed my mind around with all of this is she was like, it's not like you go and you buy a bicycle, right? And it loses its value. Right. You can't buy a $50 bike and then sell it back for $50 because more than likely no one's going to buy it for $50, right? But the way she told me, just like, Danny, like, we're buying houses, right? If you buy a house for 100,000 and you feel like you can't do anything with it, someone else might buy that house back for 100,000 and you just get your money back, right? You may lose 1,000 or so, but it's not like if we take our 15,000 and we start investing it, we're not going to lose the whole thing. And I really implanted that, like, man, you know what? Like, she's got a point. Like, this could just be almost either a zero loss or just a negative $1,000, right? It's not like we're gonna use it at all. And I feel like that's really what said, you know what? Okay, screw it. Like, let's do it.
well,
Yeah.
and that's the mindset that we went into it with was, we're not doing this flip. Our first flip is not to get rich off of, it's not to make money. If we go, it's to learn. So if we go into the first flip and even if we just break even, we've gained something because now we know the process. We've been through it. We have gained knowledge. Um, and so we went into it and the market happened to play in our favor with, interest rates and stuff. And we profited. So we bought it for 120,000.
Okay, let's do the number. Let's do the number. So you bought for 120.
It was like 120,000. I mean, I can look back
No,
on,
hey, we're not gonna hold you to it.
but
About 120.
yes, it was 120 and we put in 30
I put in like, it was like 40, 45.
or we ended up going over budget. It was like 50, right? Because we ended up having to replace their,
Wait, you said
At
30.
30.
yeah. So it was like 50.
True.
Yeah, we ended up having to replace that roof.
That was what?
45, 50.
I think at the end of it all, it was like, it ended up being like $50,000.
Because whenever we sold it, after real estate fees and all of that, paying a buyer's agent.
Well, no, that's not in the rehab. That's
Oh,
not
I-
the construction. That's
We're
50.
at 170 with purchase and rehab.
We'll just sell it for before all the closing costs and
We sold it for two.
How much?
You what?
203,000.
203. Yep.
That was the price.
8%.
203.
We sold it for 203.
They made about 18 to 20.
We made 23,000.
Hey, that's a win on your first one. That's
That's a
on my
super
first
win.
flip. I made 20 grand. That's a win. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
So to us, I mean,
how'd you
thankfully,
feel
we
after
followed
that?
it. And at the end of the day, really, it was just we're going in this to just gain knowledge on the experience.
No, I
Uh,
agree. I agree with Kyle's question. How did y'all feel when you sold that house?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Man, but just wait till we get to the second one. I just feel like our second house was like,
Dude, let's do the second one.
So,
The hardest part, though, I will say, it's not. Yes, finding a property is hard.
yeah.
Finding good contractors.
yes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
contractors that do things right, because a lot of flippers go in and do things very cheap, and
Yeah.
they will mask a lot of things. We're we don't want to sell a bad house to people.
Put lipstick on the
Later.
pig.
Yes. And so a lot of contractors want to do that as well. Well, we ended up finding a contractor that he said he in fact turned us down at first. He said that he does not work with investors. Right, but I'm talking about
Oh,
agents.
okay. Oh,
And so he turned us down at first and he was like, I don't work with investors. And he said that his reasoning was kind of, investors wanting to put lipstick on a pig, like you said, and cover up stuff and not want to fix the things that are internally wrong. And so he met us in person. I don't even know why he ended up giving us a chance.
I want to start further back and then work our way there.
Okay, can we edit that?
No,
Yeah,
just
no.
hit it, Danny.
You're
It's
good.
okay.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of talk about Pamela to kind of know,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So
ahead.
like,
Hit it.
well, when we bought Pamela, like this thing had extreme foundation issues.
Is
Right.
that the second flip?
This is our first flip. So our
If
first,
I flip with foundation issues,
How we sound.
but we
Because
got-
not a lot of people talk about that, like how you find your contractors and steps to do different things.
I'm saying like, I'm gonna edit this out real quick. Hang on, give me a second.
Are we
So
editing it?
yes, hang on.
you can edit whatever you want.
Yes, what I want to do is I want to start. I don't want to go from here to here
Okay,
and then
yeah.
go back. I want to start from here and follow all the way through.
Okay.
So just real quick so on Pamela, like when we bought it, it
Tell
had
me,
a lot.
tell me when you want to get back in.
There we
we
go.
go.
So when we bought Pamela, it had a lot of issues, right? It had the foundation issues, it had AC issues, it had all the issues you could think of, right? And us, we knew nothing about any of this stuff. We're just
And
like,
y'all
hey,
only spent 50 grand with foundation. I mean, the big tickets. We're talking big,
Yeah.
big tickets.
well, and
But back then, things were a lot cheaper.
it was like pre-COVID, pre-inflation,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, like normal price things. So I would just like call people on Facebook and be like, hey, foundation person, yeah, can you come take a look? And we got quotes up here and we got quotes down here. And I just kind of went for the center quote and said, okay, we'll go with this one, right? And we're kind of literally just doing this like just one thing at a time, right? Like, hey, let's knock this part out. Well, our first contractor, he kind of helped us out and, he kind of guided us through I guess the first flip, right? Like, and he was good. And when we finished up, it's an accomplishment for both of us because we're like, man, like we go. I remember going in there and when the flooring, remember when the flooring got first got put down. I was so excited, right? Because I was like, holy shit, like, dude, this looks awesome. We're actually doing this, right? Like, I don't know, it was a great feeling because I felt like, man, like,
Like every time I went to visit the house, something else was
yeah,
done. Dang.
like we're actually doing this. Like, this
Yeah.
is for real. Like, it's not like, I don't know, I know it sounds stupid saying it, but I was like, man, this is like for real. Like, this is like,
It does not
It's
sound
not
stupid.
stupid,
Don't
man.
have
It's so
it was a
beautiful seeing,
feeling.
like, something go from a piece of crap to, like, man,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
made this a house again. Somebody's gonna
Yeah.
live in, and someone's gonna love it, you
Yeah.
know? You're like and it's something that's you're basically, like, rejuvenating your community
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes. You're taking, like, a dilapidated house and, like, helping the people out, giving them
Well, and
places
that's what I don't understand why some investors can go into a house and just not put their heart into it, I guess you would say. Because like to us, this is kind of like our passion.
Mhm.
Like we truly enjoy flipping houses and we enjoy the families, like seeing how happy they are moving to a home that we flip and, just seeing how happy they are with it. We don't want them a year down the road having issues. Like we want to sell somebody a good quality home. Uh, and so I don't
I
know.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember
Or just
going in and it was just like it was a great feeling every time we stepped in and something else was done, and I remember just, we put it on the market and we ended up getting multiple offers, and it was a a surreal feeling knowing that, like, we actually, bought the home, fixed it up, and had offers coming in to buy the home, right? It was just I don't know, it was a good feeling, right? Knowing that we actually completed our first home, right?
yeah.
So, and like I said, and we hit everything, right? Foundation issues, AC issues, roof issues. Oh, when I'll throw this into in 2017, or no, 17. What year did we have that freeze?
Oh, the freeze was 2021.
2021? I think it was, yeah, 'cause we bought it 2020. We started this and we're we started flipping this house December of 2020
Yeah, the
and
first, yeah.
February.
yeah, the freeze in February. So we had just laid the floor down on this house. And I remember our
Mm.
contractor had just got back to the house and he called and said, "Hey, you're not gonna believe this, but the water pipe busted and your flooring is gonna be ruined if
Ugh.
we cleaned up."
What kind of fun y'all put in there?
So it was laminate flooring, but like it was, it's water resistant, not waterproof, right?
Mm.
So he was like, "Hey, if you leave this, because we didn't leave our house for 4 or 5 days because the freeze had everybody tied up." And he's like, "If you leave this water here for 4 or 5 days, like it's gonna ruin the floor." And I remember us having to like leave our house and go over there. And luckily,
Well, it was just like, okay, we just spent all of
Y'all
this
took
money.
all the floor out?
no, 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 no. We ended up
We ended up
they
taking it on.
well, thank God he had only laid the first part of the flooring.
Yeah.
And where it busted happened to be just right there where he laid that first part of flooring. Well, he ended up being right there when it happened, and he caught it around time, and he was able to go out there and cut the water off. But we went over there and dried everything up and made sure that everything was good. And if any pieces were ruined, we ended up replacing everything. So we put everything back to normal. But that was one of those things that kind of like, man, we just like
We just put in all this money,
I
all
know,
this time. We're like almost at the finish line. And then,
Yeah.
boom,
yeah.
here's the water. So
That can happen. So y'all started December 2020 on that flip, right?
yeah,
When were y'all, like, done, ready to take pictures?
it was May.
Because our hard money loan was only for 6
Yeah.
months. And we took all 6 months because, I mean, we're still, first flip, we're figuring it out. Um, and we ended up putting it on the market beginning of May, and we ended up closing on it, what, end of May, beginning of June?
Think
It
it's
was like
yes.
think of time, so we didn't hit we didn't
Just
have to extend.
yeah, no extension. Yeah.
Mhm.
But while we were
What made it
flipping
take so long? Just, like, first
Because
flip,
of
learning
yeah,
stuff?
we just
there was a time where we debated whether or not we wanted to keep it as a
yeah,
rental.
yeah, we wanted to keep it as a
Okay.
rental because here shout out TikTok, right? Like whenever I feel like I really wanted to start doing this, I watched this guy named Austin Rutherford, and he always talked about the Burr method, right? He's like, "Oh, Burr, Burr, Burr." I knew the acronym and I knew the term, but I didn't really know what all went into it. I was like, "Oh, hey, what if we burr this property, right? Like we've already flipped it. What if we like refinance?" Well, we kind of said, you know what, we really need to start with the capital first, right? So we thought flipping it and getting the money back would help us build our capital to keep flipping. And then eventually we wanted to do the, buy, flip, and hold.
Yep.
So, but and actually, I think before we even finished our first flip is when we found our second flip. 'Cause I
We
think,
were under contract on selling our first flip, and we found our second.
yeah,
All right, let's
It's
talk about
Nice.
the second flip because I know y'all are like ready to
That's our
freaking blow our minds
So
on
did
this.
so did y'all 1030 exchange or no?
no,
Yep. And the
So
reason
paid the
why
taxes.
yeah.
is because I feel like eventually
Well, could you have even done? I don't think you.
Well, you have 60 days to put it in another property.
Yeah,
Well, I think you can, but I think that we didn't like. I don't think we knew enough. I'm telling you, like we literally like
Oh, dude,
it's.
we've been Kyle and I have been there. I promise.
well,
We all have
I
been there.
don't know anything about 1031. I've never done one. I know people who have, but
I feel like you could end up
I
catching up
couldn't
to you,
tell you.
like if you don't keep.
Yeah, I mean, you're eventually gonna pay the taxes, right? You're eventually gonna pay them, so it's whether now or later. It's just like
Yeah.
the IRA.
I don't know.
Well, we kind of say, hey, look, we know we're gonna pay tax on this, so let's just try to keep some money to the side.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we were driving back from showing some friends some houses in Dayton. She was showing some friends some houses in Dayton, or actually Kennefic. And then on the way back,
HAR.
yeah, she's looking on HDR and she's like, hey, look at this house right here. And I was like, hmm. I was
It
like,
was not your typical, like it was almost 300,000. But it was a massive, it was 34, it was
35.
almost 3,500 square feet. It had a 3-car garage on an
1
acre of property. And it was just, it was on Sherwood Street in Dayton.
Yeah.
And, I just fell in love with this house. I was like, we have to go see it. And so we went to go see it, and I can't even describe the smell
Oh.
or
I thought you were
I
gonna
mean,
say describe my love for it or something, but you said still.
it was so horrible. Y'all, we would have to literally hold our breath, take a breath, run through the house, and then go outside to breathe again. It smelled so bad.
No, you want to say.
Okay. Can we like
Yeah, hang on. The thing
time
that
out?
little thing fell off, so it won't hold the screen up no more.
What happened?
Okay. The screen fell back because I hit the table with my.
Dude,
Okay.
B and I have gone to look at you out there, D still? Yeah.
Why
B
is
and
it?
I have gone to
Why
look
do
at
you keep
so
this on?
many properties where I thought I'm going to get shot. Like,
Well, this one, I'm telling you, and the only person that can really understand is like his brother,
Yeah.
because he went out there with us and our contractor. It was, I don't understand how this person was living in this house.
What was the smell? Like pets? Was it pee?
It was,
Like what is it? 'Cause I
it,
smelt it all, but
he's human and animal.
like, are you serious?
But I'm
There,
talking actually.
I would have just walked out.
it was,
I
y'all.
That's like a walkout. I have a walkout list.
So
I'm like, if this is it, I'm walking out. I was like, I'm done.
so this house, they make it to walk through the house, and we're talking 3,500 square feet. You're going to be in that house a while.
Yes.
And so, it was just so bad, but we were like, here again, I'm like, let's do it. And, we ended up making a deal for in the low 200s. And,
hey, that's like what, 64 a foot or something?
So you bought it for like 220, 230-ish? Somewhere in
Oh.
there?
210 or 216. It was like right under.
Low 200. Okay.
And so, we put in a little over $100,000 in this house. And y'all, whenever I say that we put in our all in this house, it's been our favorite flip. It is an absolutely beautiful
Yes.
What'd you sell
house.
it for?
We sold it for $475,000.
Dang, son. Congrats.
There we go.
So,
Hard money lender.
is that but that's not in your holding costs and everything, right? Like
Between
Right.
home and everything, we were in the home like total.
300
Like it was like
and
366 or something like that. Or
yeah, it was
yeah,
like
So
365.
it's still home run big time.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah. When I tell you like this was like
we
our like
profited 100 grand
easy.
profit.
That's awesome, man. Congrats on that.
Very
But
good.
so,
That's what
I
people need to hear right there. That's awesome.
and as a Harvard money lender, they send out an appraiser and they tell you basically your ARV and what their estimate of repair should be. And they
And
came,
it's very conservative.
yes, well,
Yeah.
they came because that was 365. And I said, there's no way.
Yeah.
Y'all are wrong. And I mean, I get they have to be conservative. I get it. But I kept telling him, I was like, absolutely not. We can get way more for this house. And so we spent every penny in our bank account flipping this house. Like
Nice. I
that,
freaking love it.
in that summer, it rained for like 3 months straight, I feel like. And so it kept putting our contractor back and we still have bills to pay and they still want their money. So literally, I think we borrowed money from his brother
Yeah, my
to
younger
make
brother.
to pay our bills for a month because we had put everything into this house.
And then you made over 100.
Yeah.
Whenever we closed on that house,
Oh man,
What'd y'all do after? What'd y'all do? You celebrate?
we went to
we
Vegas.
did
No way. No way.
I go to Vegas, bro.
That's
Like-
awesome.
Yeah, I think we went to
It's
That
Vegas.
is awesome, man. That dude, that's freaking.
Like walking through
That's
that.
what this is about. That's freaking awesome, man. Heck
Well,
yeah.
we
Heck yeah, you went to Vegas.
at the beginning of this flip, like we had got our old contractor in and we're like, hey, like we want to put this house, blah, blah, blah. He went over there and he gave us his price. And I was like, there's no way. Like we can't buy for this much, putting that much because our ARV is only 366. Like our numbers were,
Harvard money lender wasn't giving us
yeah, we're like,
not even enough to buy the house.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So we were like, okay, we have to figure something out. So went back to old faithful Facebook. And that's actually how we found our second contractor. I just messaged the guy and I was like, hey, we're looking to get a quote for a renovation. And the first question he asked me on Facebook, he was like, are you a flipper? And I was like, damn, like, do I say yes or no? I was like, yes. And that's when he told us, that's going back to what she was saying earlier. She was like, he told us like, hey, I don't work with flippers. Like, I like doing the job right. Typically they don't like to do the job right, or they don't like to put the money up, do the things right. So he was like, you know what? But look, I'll meet up with you guys anyways. We're like, okay, cool. So I remember us going over there and meeting him there. Well, what was funny is that we all wore shorts that day, right? And it'll make sense right now. When we walked in the house, I remember us all walking through and we all kept like hitting our feet. And we're like, man, what's going on? Right. Well, we out of the house and all of us looked down and we were covered in fleas.
Yeah.
You feel like dust.
We had fleas
This
everywhere.
house was infested with fleas. I mean, so it was a total gut job. Even whenever we removed the sheetrock, there were still fleas. Structure of the house. I mean, we thought we were never going to get rid of these fleas.
Yeah, we had it.
It was
They're
just
hard to get
so.
rid of too.
Oh, we had
It's not just one treatment and done. It's hard.
We go in fully clean.
yeah.
Whenever we left, we would get in our vehicles, make sure all of the windows were rolled down. We would go down the street, get out, dust ourselves off, change clothes, get back in the car, and then leave because the fleas were so bad. I mean, we had flea bites for months,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
so bad, so bad.
Yeah, we had to bomb the house because it was bad. But
So that was
I
your-
think,
no, that's an awesome story. I love
That-
it.
Pride and joy.
oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
And the family that bought it, they didn't even do a home inspection. Like they walked in and they
Oh.
looked so much. They
Dang.
over asking.
Mhm.
But,
So
wait,
did-
but
did
that
she-
was like that had to be during the peak. There's no way that right was that like during COVID or no?
22.
Could be wrong.
The peak. It was
I
'Cause
think it was
nobody was doing that before.
peak was 22, and this was 2021.
I think it might have been like the beginning peak, like whenever things really kind of like start peaking. But I mean,
Because
I
we
don't-
weren't seeing stuff like that then. I don't think.
You're in Tennessee, buddy. You're not in Baytown.
Yeah, that is true.
We got
We
oil
went
and gas industry, baby. We're strong.
You're right. That's crazy though, but good on you guys. You guys
No, we
listen
never had a housing
strong as
recession, buddy.
hell.
We had a strong COVID.
Well, we didn't have a recession either, but we did have a time where we shifted to where people were doing them crazy offers, appraisal gaps, no
Oh
home
yeah, dude. We had the
inspection,
like I know
all
Kalen.
that
It's like
stuff going
13,
on.
15 offers per house.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like everybody was getting like 10, 15 offers of houses. Like
Yeah.
it was easy to sell. You could sell anything.
Oh yeah.
I wish it was still like that.
Eh,
No,
I
our
honestly like it better like this. I
Oh,
like it. It's easier to find deals.
I
why?
like the I think I like the in between those two. Like not too crazy, but not
Well, yeah, because in 2022, people were, I mean, not everybody has thousands of dollars where they can pay over appraise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People need to buy homes. I mean, families need a place to live. And I feel like some people just, they couldn't compete with the market. So you have all these cash investors and stuff. Like, I won't say their name, but it starts with an O. And they come in and they outbid all of these people that actually want to buy the house to live in it. That's what I didn't like seeing is investors and these companies coming in and stealing these houses from families. And
They
that's
lost a lot of money though.
yeah. So
On that.
oh well, it's like a different kind of hurt because now buyers families can afford to buy a house unless it's, you know, really, really, really cheap because interest rates are so dang. And, yes, historically rates aren't high, but you add in inflation and it's just I don't know how the middle class is buying houses right now. I just honestly don't. Because
Yeah.
it's
But that's why I love the opportunity that is right now for flipping because it's right now to find a good deal to flip a house is a lot easier than it was in 2021 and 2022. It is. Now it might be a little bit harder to sell it, but the trick is, in my opinion, is you just have to you gotta be in the top 10% of houses on the market. Like yours has to be the one, has to be better than it, like 90% of the houses on the market, and you're okay. Now, if you get in trouble and you're like, oh, I can't afford to make it in the top 10%, or you can't afford to make those selections, and yeah, you're gonna sit a long time and not sell. But I just feel like it's easier to make money in this market than it was in COVID because I couldn't find deals to buy them because they were just so expensive, or people would swoop in and steal it. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. But
like it's just like a catch-22. It's either easy to find the deal, hard to sell, or hard to find the deal and easy to sell. Like,
yeah, I guess I'd just rather be able to find a deal because I'm just confident I can make that thing sweet and people want to buy it.
I think us, it was kinda like it was like a domino effect. Like we bought our first one, we hadn't even sold our first one, and we were already on a contract on our second one. Then we sold the first one, and we're doing the second one. And then before we were finished the second one, we're on a contract on our third one. And then we sold this
Mhm.
one, and it was just like that year felt like it. I felt like it was never gonna end. Like it was just like house after house after house.
And that
So
makes it stressful too, because it feels like you're never really having any money because you make money, but then you roll it in the next one and you make a little bit, and it's like,
yeah.
"Okay, what
well,
about taxes?" Like, that's what happened to me. It's like I got lost in the tax thing. I was like rolling everything in the next property, and they're like, "Oh, a whole bunch in taxes." I'm like, "Oh crap, where is this gonna come from?"
conversation a lot. We still kind of do, we feel like the past 2 years we've worked our butts off and, you know, yes, we made good money, um, but we earned it. And whenever tax time came, we literally got eaten alive on
Yeah.
tax. And I feel like, we would sit there and question, like, why are we even doing this? Why are we investing so much of our time to just give it all to the government? And, there for a while,
Where
like,
I'm at right now.
like, I can understand why people go back to working in a 9 to 5. because I feel like they make it so hard for people to actually be successful as an entrepreneur because they tax you to death. And it's like, I don't know, it's just very unmotivating at times. It gets very, very hard.
That's so crazy you're saying that. I literally just oh my gosh.
Me and Kyle talk about
I
that all the
I don't
time.
have to get involved in all that, but I literally just had a conversation with my dad like a week ago, and I was like, "Dad, I just don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm working so hard, but I feel like the government wants me to have a normal job." Literally told him that the other day.
I mean, you listen to, what's his name? The Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? And
Yeah.
he talks about, the school system, right? And how the school system's always taught you to be a worker, right? The school system doesn't teach you about, money, doesn't teach you about entrepreneurship, doesn't teach you about, investing, teaches you how to be a worker, right? They teach you how to wake up early, how to be somewhere for 8, 9 hours, how to get out and go home, and how to come back and do it again 5 days out of the week, right? There's a reason why it's a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and why school is a Monday to Friday, because it's just teaching you how to be a worker, right? So, I mean, that's what we're taught, all of, pretty much our whole life. So,
Because that's where, I don't know, 90% of people will wind up. I mean, honestly, they're gonna go work for someone else, if not more. I mean, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but, I'm sure I've heard 1 out of every 10 businesses will not make it to that 5th year, you know?
Yeah.
There's
Well,
only
no,
t
it's designed to make you fail. Like you literally get taxed. Self-employment tax is 15% plus ordinary income. So you're literally to be self-employed, you're paying a third of your income to the government. Period. Which is
and we've been very lucky that, we've, like, been able to keep, like, a pocket of money to the side, and, I mean, if we've if it hasn't gotten to the point where, like, we're like, "Damn it, like, we can't make it." Fortunately, we've been able to pay the taxes, but like she said, it just you get all excited the whole year because 'cause you're flipping these houses and you're making this money and these checks are coming in and, everything's looking great, and you're like, "Man, everything's so this is awesome," and then you get to tax season, and they're like, "Oh, hey, yeah,
Give us all your profit.
remember that house and this house and this house? Well, hell, we didn't get
Yeah.
any, like, you
mm,
didn't make it." I mean,
I
even
mean,
though
we understand paying taxes.
yeah, yeah, of
We're not
course.
saying, we should not pay taxes or whatever. We understand. But it's just whenever you look at it on paper and you realize how much you're actually paying, it's just insane. My grandfather actually always told us prior to us getting started, he's like, um, just always keep in mind the government is going to get their money. And you can bet that on every house, on just the profit that you make, set aside 50% for the government. And we were like, "No, there's no way. 50%?" It's absolutely true. You they're gonna get they got probably 50% of all of our profit.
It's absolutely insane because you take all the risk, right? You front the money, you talk to hard money lenders, you give your soul, and
yeah, you need to
it's
take a
like, "Oh,
huge
Yeah.
risk.
50%. All right, buddy. No problem," right? Like,
With real estate, a lot of people, look at realtors like, "Oh, they show houses and make all this money." And it's like, there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes. We literally worked 24/7 with no benefits, no insurance, no time off, no nothing. And they're so quick to look at, oh, they're getting this much. Okay, yeah, but how much do we actually keep? Because you take away insurance and you take away all of that stuff. Sometimes we're walking away with less than somebody who works for somebody, you know? So I don't know. It's hard working for yourself at times.
wait, real estate agents just don't show houses? They do more than that?
Who would have known? I'd have never known.
What? Are you serious? I thought y'all's job was so easy. Man,
Yeah, and, the thing about it whenever we started is I don't think we put very much thought into the, I guess, tax aspect of things. We're kinda like, "Hey, like, it's going good, let's just keep going," right? And got to the next year and we were like, holy crap, like, I don't think we thought about all of this, right? I mean, we weren't even really even established. We were kind of like, I mean, we didn't have our
We didn't
LLC or
have an
anything.
LLC, have anything.
No, we just like started. I don't know. We just did it. And it just
Well,
happened to work out.
that's a good thing though, because that's what people are afraid to do is just start, and they're like, a lot of people do the opposite. They're like, "What do I do? Do I
But
start an LLC? Do I?" But the thing is, just do something, and then you figure it out, and you get
well, that's this guy, and we were telling him like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and he was like, "Oh, we're talking. We don't have anything established." He goes, "Look, we can fix all that." He goes, The main thing is you guys just did it, right?" He goes, Y'all did it. The rest of it we can figure it out afterwards." And so I mean, it's worked out. I mean, obviously we have our LLC now. We have everything set up. We have separate bank accounts. We've learned along the way. I guess the ropes
The
of things,
proper
right?
way.
Yeah. So um, it's been a journey to say the least. But
well,
it's been fun. Real fun.
you guys are freaking killing it, man.
Kalen, Danny, I know you're gonna be surprised, but we're 47 minutes into this one. Give us some final words, some inspiration, some thoughts. What do y'all have for the listeners?
And how can we follow you?
What if you? Yeah, definitely give that. Give us what? Give us. How do we follow you? Your journey.
I mean, I have a real estate page,
Kalen
Kalen
Isis sold it.
or the Kalen Isis real estate team, but we don't have anything. We haven't jumped on the whole like TikTok, um, all of that stuff. We
You on
probably should.
bigger pockets?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Kalen Isis real estate team.
Danny, how do you
Yes, yeah.
follow you? I want to.
I know what?
How do I follow you?
It's Facebook. Yeah. Daniel Isis.
All right,
Oh, his proper name.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah. Nothing special.
I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add you.
Yeah. I think we've kind of just, through this whole thing, we've kind of just, I don't think we've gotten on the social media kick yet. We've kind of just been enjoying doing this together. And I will say, they always say that the type of partner that you choose to do things with has a really big effect on how successful you are, right? So, and the type of people, I will say that, for all the younger people, I would say get into a good crowd. If like I saw someone talking about, if you and your friends aren't getting together, talking about business, talking about success, talking about money, talking about, how to grow at, each other, you know, I feel like you're not in the right circle, right? The type of people that you surround yourself with, and especially the couple that, or the person that you choose to spend your life with, I think has a really great impact on this amount of success that you have because, us to take us, I feel like we feed off each other, and I feel like our energy always keeps us going, right? And like I may not be 100% all the time. She'll pick up the slack and vice versa, right? Because not everybody has good days. We all have our bad days too. And I feel like even on my bad days, she makes my bad days good, right? So I feel like it makes things easier, and we support each other. And I feel like that's been a very good uh, reason as to how we've been able to grow over the years. So just surround yourself around good people, have good conversation, stay away from the drama, keep your circle small, and just grow.
All right. Well, on that, I got a question, Danny. Am I in the circle or not?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, Kalen, Miss Team Lead. You got anything? Hit it with us. Come on, some
I,
motivation.
no, I agree with him 100%. And one of my favorite songs is "Church" by
Very more.
some Thug.
Oh, yeah.
Slim Doug.
I think,
Yeah.
but
Like,
it's
Doug?
man, I was like, country song? No.
and Joel says, if you want to know what you're going to be like in 5 years, look at your friends. And I feel
He's
it.
gonna play it.
You're gonna play it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, here.
But everything that he says is 100% true. And yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it.
That's it.
Okay. I was going to let you finish and I'll play it to end it out.
So, but like he said, your circle of friends, if you're around people that are, talking down on other people or, um, just wanting to go out and party and stuff versus, hey, how can we build each other up? How can we motivate each other? Talk about positive instead of negatives. You're with the wrong crowd. And the people that you give your time to absolutely 100% matters. And I feel like at times, sometimes we feel lonely because we feel like we don't really connect with anybody. But it just comes down to the fact that we're okay with just us because we would rather be alone, just me and him, than be surrounded by negative energy.
Yeah.
And, being a business owner or being an entrepreneur is very, very tough. With a lot of anxieties that goes with it, there's a lot of you worry about if you're doing good enough. You constantly worry about, if your clients are happy with you and upon a million other things. And so the last thing that you need is negative energy, negative people around you. So watch conversations that you have, always talk up on people. Don't, I'm not in real estate to be the biggest and the baddest out there. I'm in real estate to help people. And the more people that you help, you're going to get that back in return. Um, so I would just say, like he said, watch who you hang around with and your circle of friends, partner that you choose, and cut off anybody that brings negativity into your life. Family, friends, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you have to protect your peace. Because without peace, you're not going to have a happy family or a successful business, in my opinion. So,
Boom. Love it.
That ends episode we don't know. Hey, you got you coming on.
is that it?
Well, that's
But,
not it.
That's it. I found it late. The only one I can find is chopped and screwed though.
Oh, I'm reading the lyrics. I'm reading the lyrics. Can y'all hear it?
Can you hear mine?
Nah, not the right one. Want to talk to you about the right people, who you spend your time with. This is the song. What you were just talking about.
Oh, that is it. That's it.
Yeah.
Could y'all hear mine?
Here we go.
Go.
Is this it?
good song you're on.
Yeah. I want to
Whatever.
talk about the people. Okay. Yeah. Who you hang out with?
The only one I got is chopped and screwed. Sounds good though. Oh no, chopped and screwed is way, way better.
I love it.
Listen to the chopped and screwed.
That says, you showed me a video that said you'll never meet a hater that's doing better than you.
Oh yeah, David Goggins.
Yes. He has a lot of good merch.
Danny just freaking dropping. I'm like,
Who's going to carry the boats and the logs?
Baby. Yeah, David Goggins said you never meet a hater doing better than you.
And it took me a long time to come to terms with who my actual friends were because a lot of people are your friends and they want to be with you until you start being successful. And I learned this the very, very, very hard way. Most people want you to be successful, but only until you're doing better. They want you to be successful as long as you're not doing better than them. And you have to watch who those people are and be able to identify them. If you can't be friends with somebody who's constantly in competition with you, and so that's kind of a motto that I go by.
Love it.
Love it.
Kyle, I have a feeling this might be our last one for a bit because you're about to have a little boy.
Oh.
Sad, buddy.
Congratulations.
I'm glad y'all were a guest tonight. Man, that was amazing. It was a good podcast.